Out of all of Donald Trump's supporters, Derek Evans has a particular reason to be happy with November's election results. He hopes the president-elect will give him a pardon for participating in the 6th of January riot at the U.S. Capitol. A pardon will be life-changing, said Evans, who was a member of the West Virginia legislature when he and at least 2,000 others stormed the Capitol in 2021. It was part of an effort to overturn the results of the U.S. election. Inspired by the false belief that it was Trump, not President Joe Biden, who had won, he reached an agreement with prosecutors, which saw him plead guilty to civil disorder, and spent 3 months in federal prison in 2022. On the campaign trail, Trump repeatedly said he would pardon the rioters, whom he has called patriots and political prisoners. But who exactly will be pardoned, and when, is still an open question. I believe he's a man of his word, Evans told the BBC. 7 things Trump says he will do in power. When does he become president again? What happens to his legal cases now? How he pulled off an incredible comeback. In March, Trump wrote on his Truth Social account that one of his first acts as president would be to free the January 6th hostages being wrongfully imprisoned. He repeated the pledge at a National Association of Black Journalists Forum in Chicago in July. "Oh, absolutely, I would," he said. "If they are innocent, I would pardon them." But he has stopped short of proposing a blanket pardon, at one point telling CNN, "I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control." His campaign has previously said decisions would be made on a case-by-case basis. Arrests still being made. The events of the 6th of January resulted in one of the largest federal investigations in U.S. history. Nearly 600 people have been charged with assaulting, resisting, or impeding police officers. Some of those who have been given the longest sentences, such as Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes and Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, did not participate in the violence inside the building. Instead, they were convicted of seditious conspiracy and other felonies for organizing the melee. Arrests are still being made. In an update issued last week, the FBI said it is still looking for 9 suspects wanted for violent assaults on police officers. But with Trump, who still maintains, without evidence, that he was the winner of the 2020 election, coming back to the White House, the future of the investigation remains uncertain. Citing Justice Department sources, NBC News reported that officials are focusing on trying the most egregious cases before Trump's inauguration on the 20th of January. Delayed hearings. In the meantime, several Capitol riot defendants have asked for hearings to be delayed in anticipation of pardons. Among them are Christopher Carnell, a North Carolina man who was found guilty on several riot-related charges earlier in the year. His lawyers asked for a hearing to be delayed last week because of possible clemency actions relevant to his case, but the request was turned down. Jonathan Peter Klein, who along with his brother Matthew pleaded guilty to several charges in July, asked for his sentencing hearing, scheduled for the 15th of November, to be delayed. That request too was turned down. Wendy Via, co-founder of the not-for-profit Global Project Against Hate and Extremism GPA, said that there is already a sense of excitement amongst rioters and their supporters. Folks on fringe sites are calling for the release of what they are calling the January 6th prisoners of war or hostages. She said. They include Jake Lang, who is charged with a number of crimes including assaulting police officers, and who regularly posts online from his jail cell in New York. After Trump's victory, he wrote on X, "I am coming home." The January 6th political prisoners are finally coming home. In just 75 days on January 20, 2025, when Donald J. Trump is inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States, he will pardon all of the J6 hostages. Laying low. GPA also found that some groups plan to lay low until Trump takes office and pardons are made official. One post on a Proud Boys channel on Telegram suggested that members avoid the January inauguration, stay home or patronize your local watering hole, and celebrate the inauguration of our president and the imminent release of our boys. In a blog post, Via said pardons would make a mockery of our justice system, and it will send the message to his followers that violence is a legitimate response to political outcomes they don't like. For the moment, the release of everyone charged with riot-related offenses seems unlikely. But non-violent offenders such as Derek Evans have called for large numbers to be freed, and, he suggested, a pardon would not be enough to compensate him and others for the time they spent behind bars. I think there needs to be some reparations and restitution involved as well, he said.